Have you ever done the Avatar challenge while doing a playthrough of Pokemon? Pokemon games are definitely fun, but they're notorious for the fact that there is no type of difficulty setting for people who might have played previous generations of the game. So to get around this, fans have created various different types of challenges like the famous Nuzlocke challenge, or in this case, one that's based off of the hit Nickelodeon cartoon, Avatar the Last Airbender. It's called Avatar Mode for short, and the first time that I found it was on Funnyman2416's account on DeviantArt.com. And the basic idea behind Avatar Mode is that it took 16 of the original 17 Pokemon types and broke them down into 4 categories based off of the 4 elemental nations of Avatar the Last Airbender. So with Avatar Mode, you yourself are not the Avatar, which means that you can't use Pokemon from all 4 of the nations. You have to stick to one specific category. So let's say you're like me and you like to use a fire starter. That means you're going to be in the Fire Nation. For the rest of your playthrough of whatever Pokemon game that you're doing the Avatar Mode challenge, you can only use Fire, Electric, Dark, and Dragon types along with Normal, since that can be used with any of the 4 nations. Once the Fairy typing was introduced in Pokemon X and Y, it was added to the Air Nations category of 4, and Bug typing went from being exclusive to the Air Nation to being one of the 2 types that any of the 4 nations can use on their teams. And because you're given the options of Water, Grass, and Fire starters, that doesn't mean that you're only able to be Water or Fire Nation. You can pick any of the 4 nations as long as the starter Pokemon that you're picking is able to evolve into a compatible type with your nation at the very first opportunity. So let's say you want to do the Avatar Mode challenge in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet and you want to pick the Air Nation. You can choose Fuecoco as your starter, but you would just have to make sure that you evolve it into a Skeledirge as soon as you possibly can. Since Skeledirge has a Ghost secondary typing, it would then be compatible with the 4 different types of Pokemon that the Air Nation can use. Normally when I'm doing an Avatar Mode challenge in a playthrough of Pokemon, I go with the Fire Nation, but in a recent playthrough of Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, I've chosen to switch things up and go with the Earth Nation. But I'm curious, which of the 4 nations would you choose for an Avatar Mode challenge?